Megan, you know VC founders, you know Gen Z tech. TikTok is an app used by, a broad demographic, but Gen Z as well. The other side of this debate is the user base and them saying, we don't get it. We don't get the risks. We don't get why you're taking this away from us. Where do you sit on that?
I think it's interesting, right? I think there's two sort of users you have to think about. There's the people who consume TikTok content like me, and there's also the creators who their livelihoods are dependent on TikTok and their followings. So for users who are spending 15 to 20 hours a week on TikTok and it's their number 1 source of entertainment, they're obviously concerned that that's going to be taken away. But for creators where they're actually monetizing on TikTok and 70+% of creators, their number 1 source of income is actually through brand deals. You take away their main platform, you take away a lot of people's livelihoods. And so I think people are up in arms, especially Gen Zers who make up 60+% of TikTok's users, simply because you're taking away either our main source of entertainment or our actual source of income. And so, and again, the number 1 career path for Gen Zers today, we want to be YouTubers, bloggers, content creators. And so this is going to continue to be a theme for a lot of people, and TikTok is our sort of platform of choice. So, and on the founder side as well, you see a lot of consumer founders scaling their businesses on TikTok. It's a great path for distribution and building an authentic, organic presence versus doing a lot of paid marketing. And so you're actually taking away a lot of opportunity from founders as well.
Right. Colloquially, Gen Z is anyone born in the late 90s through, I think, until 2010. So that's a pretty wide group of people that we're talking about. I'm interested in Gen Z VCs, the kind of community that you founded and started, because it is an ecosystem of both founders and VCs. And the other debate that we want to have you on to talk about is how those people will fare in 2023. Our colleagues at Bloomberg Opinion, Alison Schrager, wrote this column this week titled Gen Z Startups Will Face a Tough Sell in 2023. In other words, they're entering an environment where they're trying to raise money, get businesses off the ground, but the world's changed. What are the conversations you're having right now with the community that you founded?
Yeah, well, I think the funding environment is difficult for younger founders and older founders. The average age of a founder is about 35 years old. And I understand the conversation with investors where it's like, okay, maybe there's less risk in backing experienced founders who have done it once before. But on the flip side of that coin, there's a generational opportunity in backing Gen Z founders who are building problems for themselves. And you see this with every generation. It's not something that's necessarily unique with Gen Z. But it's really important because when you look at the world today and the problems that we're facing and experiencing, Gen Z founders have they experience the pain point firsthand and they can build around that problem. Even for me as a Gen Z investor, and formerly I was an investor at Lair Hippo, General Atlantic, large funds, I tended to back first-time founders, Gen Z founders, because I intimately understood their take as an investor. And so what I'm seeing broadly is it really encouraging founders to go back to the fundamentals. And so thinking about their unique value prop and why they're building the problem, what makes them the best person to build that business. Really just thinking about founder market fit, which is true for Gen Z founders, millennial founders, Gen X founders, any founders. And so I think, broadly, I think there's still a massive opportunity to be backing Gen Z founders, young people who see problems authentically from the Gen Z perspective.
Megan, when you look at opportunities yourself as an investor, I know you back a lot of Gen Z founders. What are thematically the areas you're most excited about in 2023? We just had 30 seconds.
Yeah, so we actually do a poll every year. This year, the top 3 trends that Gen Z investors are tracking are climate tech, AI and ML, which is a very sort of hot topic right now, and then fintech as well. So those are 3 areas that we're tracking. And even just this week, I've been pitching a bunch of generative AI companies. And so a lot of younger founders are building in AI broadly.